to have an enthusiasm for the work that you're doing. You have to enjoy the work that you're doing, and you have to want to be successful.
You need to be able to just make decisions completely on your own. It's no good if you've got to be asking somebody else all the time. So you've got to be positive on the way you think.
Don't be put off by negatives. Don't be put off by people telling you can't do it. Have faith in yourself.
You've got to be prepared to adjust your lifestyle and to make do on a personal level with perhaps less than you had when you were working for somebody else.
You work an awful lot of hours and you get less time off, and you need an awful lot of determination and energy. If you've got all those, you'll be fine.
It all started when I was made redundant from a company I worked for several years ago, manufacturing caravans, leisure buildings and portable chalets. They were based in Lincolnshire, and I'd worked for them for many, many years, right from the stage of being involved with joinery, carpentry and joinery on the workbench, and worked myself right up to the development and the design of their buildings. I was offered a job down here in Pembrokeshire, which was an area I always wanted to come down to. And for the best part of 6 or 7 years, just stuck to manufacturing garden sheds. Unfortunately, the owner was taken seriously ill, so decided to close the company down. However, I was now down here in Pembrokeshire, and it seemed a great waste just to throw all that experience away. So that was really the lead-up to me starting to think of setting my own business up. I set a meeting up with the accountant that I intended to use, and we looked at what sort of realistic figures we thought we could turn over in the course of a year, and ran through all the expenses, rent, rates, purchasing of timber, and all the things that crop up in business. After I'd done all the sort of homework I could do with the accountant, I then arranged with the Pembrokeshire Business Initiative. They are a group of professional business people, and they advised me, after producing 2 proper plans with me, that I should go through it and then go back to them at a later date with the one I wanted to go for. I thought the best thing to do is to use my own money and as little as possible, and then just see how it went from there. There was always the other option that was put to me once the business was running and it was actually proven that it was going to be successful. We could always go back later and look at probably borrowing money for machinery to upgrade the business, if you like. Having the right premises in any business, especially mine, is very, very important. And there was something wrong with most of them. They were either tucked away behind some horrible industry which people really won't want to go down and drive past, because we actually sell from our premises as well as manufacture. Or if it was in the right location, the price was too high, and that would have crippled the business from the start. So it's a case of, in several weeks really, get out and about, drive around, find out what there is, talk to people, see if there's a location that would be ideal for you, if not forever, in the short term, to get your business started. I knew full well that there was plenty of business there for good quality work, and we found the majority of people came to us because they could buy a lot cheaper elsewhere, but at the end of the day, they appreciate the quality, and that was the aim of our business. The reason why I went to the Midland Bank was through colleagues of mine that are in business, their recommendation. I found them interested in my business. Yeah, I mean, when I sat there talking to them, talking to the manager of the Midland, he was interested in what I was telling him. He was wanting to go through cash flows with me. He was wanting to see how I was going to produce it, and see that it was realistic what I was doing. But I wanted to make sure that at a later stage, if I wanted to progress, which we do, and we want to grow, you know, a bit bigger, I was with a bank that was interested in my business from the start. Bookkeeping isn't my favourite subject. I would sooner be working with timber than pen and paper, and it's a job I do at the evening. I try and do it if I can at the end of every week. If, like in my case, I'm employing an accountant to keep fairly close look on me, you can simplify it quite a bit, because he'll put it all on computer but you've got to present it to him in a good enough manner so he can put it on computer. I sorted out right from the early days what taxes I would have to pay, when I'd have to pay them, when we should be registering for VAT, and so all of this was taken into account for a start. Working for yourself, you'll just work all hours and you just carry on. Well, obviously when you're employing people, they want paying for all the hours they're working for, and you've got to plan and you've got to make sure you're getting the best out of the hours you're paying them for. In our case, we tend to work as a small family business, so instead of looking at it that the men that work for me are working for me, we tend to look at it they're working with me, and they're fully aware all the time of exactly how the business is running, and in my case that's the only way the business would work. If I am successful, I don't know that there's any secret to it. I think basically it's just a case of being prepared to work hard for a start and then producing a product that is good. I mean, quality is for me the key thing. It's the quality of our product that actually keeps us alive. It keeps our business thriving. And every time, I mean, every customer that we go to is very proud of the product we give them. We're proud of it, and we know word of mouth it counts for so much. It brings in, I would think, probably 60% of our business.
I'd worked for 12 years for a gaming machine company, and it wasn't satisfying to me the latter years, and decided to take voluntary redundancy and go into my own business. Living on the edge of the Enterprise Park in Swansea with an awful lot of workers there, very little catering facilities, I decided to look into the possibility of a mobile delivery service. Did some market research on that and found that the people who actually working there, what they actually required was good quality food. Hygiene was important to them, and service, quality of service, to be there on time, and to be there every day. And this is how we came up with the idea of La Baguette de Jour. It was sheer luck that I saw an advert in the local newspaper. There was somebody with a unit smack in the middle of the industrial estate that I was going to be working from.
Mind your backs, hot trays coming through.
You wanted somebody to share it, and he was only using it part of the night, which was perfect for me because there was a huge baker's oven there, and stainless steel tables and fridges and freezers. It was just perfect. The £1,100 redundancy money, put a deposit on the first vehicle, and it was white to give a nice clean image, and the company logo was put onto that, so you know it looked different from everybody else to start with. They had a good strong company image, and went out with a uniform. I went out the very first day with about 60 sandwiches. Hi, baguettes. You know, give samples to people on the Enterprise Park, and introduced myself and made pre-arranged times with the managers or whoever was in charge there, and asked if I could call on a daily basis to provide them with their morning snacks and lunch. It was very well received, and the following day I'd sold out by about 10:30. Really exciting. I just couldn't believe it. I never thought it would go that quickly. Within a year there was 4 delivery vehicles, and soon after that we were under pressure really from the customers to maybe set up a retail premises in town. So we looked at that and found yes, there was possibility, and we could actually move into Nelson Street in Swansea. The bank manager I had at Midland talks in a language I can understand, and we get along really well, and she passes on little bits of information I think might be useful to me, set us off on the trail for entering competitions, and we've won awards from that, and it's been very good for business in publicity, cash prizes. It's given a lot of customer awareness.
Thank you very much. See you later. Thanks. Bye.
The next stage is we've got the second shop actually being built now. It's in a brilliant spot. A lot more people are going to see it and recognise us when we open up in high streets elsewhere. Oh, hi John. Sorry, it's been a bit hectic down there, so we'll be looking for another 3 managed outlets over the next 6 months, I should imagine. By spring, we'd like to franchise the business. We're actually in the process of setting up everything we need to go into franchising, the whole package, but getting the systems right, so that every shop you go into would be the same quality, and that means a lot of groundwork now. It'll obviously mean that we won't just be Swansea based or just Wales, hopefully nationwide. The business will grow very, very quickly, I feel, after that. We have the support of the bank as well. They're quite excited about it as well. They can see that there's great possibilities for the business there. It's not only commitment to myself now, it's commitment to the people that I'm employing, and that really gives me a buzz as well. I think that that I'm actually employing other people. Yeah, I really enjoy what I'm doing, and the satisfaction I get at the end of the day. I'm really tired at the end of the day, but it's great. The satisfaction you get for running your own business, problems or not.
Gerald, being my stepbrother, realised that I'd left a family business, and he said, well, I'm not doing anything. We'll find something to do together. We spent a lot of late nights trying to find concepts that we both fancied for a business.
But not just the business side, something that would be of interest as well.
Yeah, and more important, to maintain or improve our quality of life. The money wasn't the first thing.
We're looking at a project in Cheltenham, in fact. It wasn't a mill, it was a jazz club that we were going to do. We were going to do jazz and food. And Nicholas's mother came in one day with some details from an agent. And she said, look at this. And we had a look through, and we came straight down to the mill and had a good look round and thought, yes, this will definitely be a good idea. I was aware immediately, we were aware, that there was a retail potential here. I said, well, taking my experience, I know that we must get X amount of customers per day, and the average spend would be X amount because of the things that we're buying. You multiply that up and you can get to your figures pretty accurately.
And the percentage of people that come through the doors, then a certain percentage would go through a museum. Multiply that by the entrance. Certain people would have an ice cream. There'd be a certain spend per person in the shop.
Yeah. It's quite a formula. I mean, it worked very well. We were right on target.
We can't just have people coming into one shop and going to an ice cream counter in one section, retail another section. It'd be a mess. Gerald managed to work out the customer flow, which is very important. So, our different sort of experiences have really helped.
As people come up to the front of the mill, they can see the whole thing. And then the first point of entry is the shop. Someone has to be close by for them to have immediate contact as they come in. Then they will walk into the shop, and from there they can then walk through to the museum. They can walk into another area, ice cream parlour, into another section which is the antiques. Now, all of those sections should need extra people, which would mean 2 of us and maybe another 3 or 4 people. But if you get your layouts right, as we did, you can police the whole thing with fewer people, and fewer people is lower costs, and lower cost is more profit.
The museum section of the business is more of a sort of a commitment, I feel.
Yeah.
By restoring the mill, which we want to do in the next 4 years, we feel we'll be giving even more life in it. There's more life, it's going to attract more people. Then we've developed into the music, which is Gerald's background.
Yeah, it was very surprising actually. The music was, it's my great love, but we were just astounded how many people were attracted to the music. So yes, it's one of the great charms of the place as well.
13 flavours. Wins awards against Haagen-Dazs and Ben & Jerry's. We spent a lot of time deliberating on what ice cream to stock here. They'd sold ice cream here before. It was a quality handmade ice cream. And knowing whether to sort of sell quantity or quality. But we were really concerned that people that came here would walk in the doors and say, wow, that's a nice shop. they stock quality products that are value for money.
If the quality's there, people come back. It's as simple as that.
Okay, thanks then. All right, bye now. That's interesting, Joe.
Although Midland weren't the major part of the setup, we have developed with Midland. They gave us a lot of support.
Yeah, they shared the vision.
Yes, they did. Absolutely.
Important because
Because there were a few people that were saying, well, that's a big project and that's going to negative stuff. I think that's going to be a bit more than we think. They put in some very good ideas and put some financial packages together for us. We've got the next stage coming up, which is a tea room, which we're doing at the back of the premises, out by the mill pond, which is going to be a very beautiful spot. And we were looking at it to finance it ourselves, but it's worth talking to Midland to see if it's financially beneficial to us to do a loan and do that with them. So
they've believed in us in the start. I believe they'll follow us the whole way through.
People say to us, how could you live here? It'd be so boring. I'd get bored in a couple of days. But it's not the fact. It's a wonderful environment. People come here to visit, and the people come.
Then the other half come in and they say, what we would give to be in an environment like this. How do you do it? And that's, quite a long story.
My recent history is as a design engineer in the heating, ventilating and air conditioning industry. I'd always felt that I would eventually run my own business. I had developed within the industry to a degree that I knew I could. I'd got all the aspects. I could design, I could generate the business, I could fulfill the contracts through. So basically I knew myself, the industry inside out. Starting in the business on my own would be okay, but without a customer, it would be very difficult to move ahead. I discussed the prospects with my customers. Would they be confident enough to place the business with myself as a brand new business? And they confirmed that they would. So the first thing I did was to start saving my own money, generate what funds I could myself. I then contacted suppliers and actually put them in the picture. Said, look, I'm going to start on my own. I will need credit. Are you prepared to give me credit? I contacted Midland Bank and basically talked over what I would really need to do, and how they could help me and whether any help would be available for a start. A business plan would be required, obviously, and they outlined that planning is key to the start of the business, and the timing of that also would be very important. So before anything happened, I sat down and worked out what my costs would be, how the business would operate, what sort of finance I would need. The emphasis of the business would be new technology, so I would need to start the business correctly. The name needed to project the identity of the company, basically. I thought Airright established ourselves at the front of the yellow pages for a start. It was a name that was easy to remember. We're in the air conditioning field, and it seemed right. The Leicester part of it identified where we were, basically. Premises are important. I think you need to establish an identity. We needed to project an image of being a professional company of the right sort of size, because we were looking to deal with blue chip companies. We were looking to handle contracts in the region of £100,000 at a time. So we needed to give the confidence to our customers. So we worked very, very hard to build strength into the business. We were working 14 to 15 hours a day to generate the business, to make sure the business operated as we would have liked it to operate. And we actually gained the confidence of our customers at that time. And business started to flow in, basically. It's all very well winning new business. It's all very well doing business well and making profits. But if payment isn't forthcoming at the end of that, then you have problems. So that is an important factor. You must make sure that the money is safe, basically. I established a good relationship with my bank manager very early on in the business. We were looking to invest in the new equipment, and vehicles were important to us, both for myself and for my outside operatives. The manager was able to help us with good rates, and we moved forward using Midland Motor Finance for our vehicles, and we found they were very competitive and assisted us greatly. At the moment we have quite an advanced design office, a nice office setup, but that's really all it is at the moment. For us to move forward onto larger contracts, we really need to develop new products, new ideas, and we need a situation where we've got workspace, storage facilities, and light fabrication facilities. Leicester City Council assisted us in actually finding these premises. And although it is a shell, an empty shell, it's dirty, it's dingy, we can see with certain building works a high-tech office located in the corner to give us natural light, to give us space to expand with our computer systems, to bring new people in to work alongside us. And this to be a clean working environment to develop new products, to develop new ideas, and to move through with the new products that we can use. It gives us storage so we can respond very quickly on the new projects that require quick turnaround. These premises will give us all of that. We can see ahead, we can see new business on the horizon, the business that we want to get involved in. And we are very enthusiastic about the business that we're doing. We enjoy it, and we're looking forward to greater things.
My partner and I, Richard Bannister, had been in this kind of business for many years, and we were working for a local company, a family-owned company, whose the son of the owner came into the business, and we at that stage didn't see eye to eye as to how he was going to run the business, and decided we would be better going off and trying to plough our own furrow, and hence Criterion Packaging was formed. Of course, you have to have a plan. Everybody has to have a plan. There has to be a route that you're looking to go down. Something that's mapped out that shows you where the destination is going to be, and you have to look at that carefully and monitor where you are against that plan. So the first thing we had to decide was which sort of market sector we wanted to pitch ourselves into, and that to me is always the most important decision you have to make. Where is the market that you are looking to serve? We knew that we needed to be able to carry out a certain number of functions within our own premises, and in order to achieve our first year targets we would need certain types of machines. So we put lists of those machines together, and you don't only have to think about the productive equipment, but you need things like photocopiers, telephone systems, heaters, desks, chairs, racking systems, filing cabinets. All this kind of thing has to be taken into account in looking for the initial financial package that you need to set the whole thing going in the first instance. The accountants recommended the Midland Bank as being very proactive in looking at small businesses. From our first presentation, where we put together a written 3-year plan, the bank were able to say to us, that's very good, but you've forgotten this. Have you looked at this particular area? Have you thought of that particular problem? And we were able to then adapt that 3-year plan, go back in and make another presentation, and within a very short period of time, the bank were able to say yes to our proposals on condition that we also got finance from this source and that source.
Do we still have the template on the word processing?
It's no good how effective an idea you've got, how marvellous an idea you've got, if there is no market for that product. Our approach was to try to find at least 10 customers who could supply us with repeat business, and it was important for them to have repeat business because we didn't have a big sales and marketing team who could go looking for business day in, day out. So we selected very carefully people from our previous knowledge who had that kind of spend in repeat style business. The things that surprised us really at the outset were that the customers wanted to test us, and they gave us small trial orders and then gave us another small trial order just to make sure that you know, the good quality and the deliveries that we'd achieved weren't a flash in the pan. And this went on for a longer period than we'd anticipated. Coupled with the fact that we spent a lot more money on tooling up, we could see that we were going to be in a situation where the amount of cash that we'd asked for in the initial stages was not enough to fund our working capital. So at this stage, our business banking manager suggested to us that we look at invoice factoring. First of all, what we found from invoice factoring was that they were able to offer us bad debt insurance cover. But as a young and growing business whose turnover is increasing all the time, and therefore the demands on your working capital is increasing all the time, it gives us access to funding that grows automatically with your turnover. And providing you are a profitable organisation, it is a good way of ensuring that you have access to as much funding as you would need to run your business effectively. We're just now at the stage where we have to make a decision on how big we want the company to grow. And that will be put together in the fairly near future with a new business plan for the next 3 years. But we are very, very happy about the progress that we've made so far, and we're looking forward to the future with a great deal of enthusiasm.
The business itself has given me a new enthusiasm for work. I enjoy much more the work that we do, and I get a great deal of excitement from new business, generating new business, being successful.
To see the machine operatives and the rest of our employees also gaining from the business, to see them buy a new car, move to a bigger house, to see them prosper from our starting the business.
When they've got the products and it's installed in the garden, and they turn around and you can see that they feel proud of it. I mean, they've purchased it from you. You're the one that's made it, but they're proud of it, and that, I think, we stand back and we think, well, that's great.
I think anyone that's got the faith in themselves to be able to start their own business doesn't really need anyone else to look down on them, because they know they've got to do their best. If the best's not good enough or fair enough, then they've got themselves to answer to, but at least they've given it a try.
You're tired, you're really tired, but you feel, yes, I've achieved something today, I'm doing something with my life, and that's a lovely feeling.